Hey traders, this is Ron Hayden, Market Tamer. Happy Tuesday. Hope you guys are doing great. As always, nothing in this presentation shall constitute a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Trading stocks and options involves risk, and specific financial issues should always be addressed with your financial advisor. All right, markets up again today, no shock. The SPY was only up about 0.25%, volume decent, finished at the highs of the day, new all-time closing highs, sort of like a broken record again. Here are the diamonds DIA up almost identical, 0.25%. Doing just fine, and the QQQs. The NASDAQ, after having some good semiconductor news yesterday, it pushed a little higher too, now closed at 190.01. We are not quite at new all-time highs, but we're getting very close. Now, recently, I've been talking to you guys, not recently, I seem to do it all the time, right, about seasonally bullish stocks. And if you remember, I talked about Under Armour, and I wish I was the one, picking these, but it's just what the seasonality screener does. It sifts, searches, puts them on a silver platter, the best, most highly probable stocks based on their own historical track records to trend higher over the coming weeks. Look what happened. In May, we started talking about Under Armour. Pulls up, pulls back a little bit, and then gets shot out of a cannon and just keeps going. This one here, if you just go from the end of May into early mid-June, was 224% return. That was as much as the win was. A long call cost around $1.48 was worth as much as $4.80. Right on schedule, no shock. Well, how about POD, which is Insulet? Maybe not everybody knows about this one. If you remember, the markets were getting whacked. Here's May. Remember, May the S&P went down. Look what POD did in its seasonal window. It rips up on earnings, no shock, earnings bias, then keeps going. If you go from just the end of May, I'm not even picking way back here, even the end of May, when I was doing a bunch of these events, a July 110 long call cost $4.30, fast forward to the end of June, it's worth $9.50. That's 120% win. Then we talked about CERN, sort of just like POD, it was moving up in April and in May. If you look at CERN from the end of May into, frankly, today, this one was up. The long call cost $2.25. It was worth as much as $5. You're talking about 122% return. And then take Expedia. And I like this one because if you remember, it went down with the market. And all I said was at the beginning of June, the end of May, hey, just wait for it to get above that orange line. It's a wonderful litmus test. Stocks that are below that 50-day, that institutional moving average, and they get above it, it's often a thing of beauty when they're in their seasonal windows. Look what happened. By the time it got above it, right here on 6.7, and then it just kept pushing higher. This long call went from around 250 to as much as 890. That's a 256% return. And by the way, all we're doing is using the red line as a trailing stop. I wish I could say I'm this amazing stock picker. I'm not. It's just the stock's own data as our secret weapon. Then on Saturday, I did an event, which I forgot to mention in the YouTube videos. I'm sincerely sorry about that. I said, watch NASDAQ. And what happened in 2 days? Pop goes the weasel. This thing is up 33% using just long calls, right on schedule. Even the volume picked up today. It's inside its seasonally bullish window. So here's what I'm going to do. This Friday, I'm not going away this holiday. It's in 3 more days. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Register at the bottom of this video or in the email that you just got. Top 10 stocks. It's an Encore event. You can't afford to miss it to see who is set to soar and crash both ways next. We only have 500 seats as usual. We're going to hit max capacity, so you got to register ASAP. And then finally, a couple other quick stocks here. Here's a Bitcoin stock, GBTC. I'm not trading this one. This is Grayscale Bitcoin. You can see the volume surging in April, started to get above the 200-day, went back and forth, and we started to break out right around $7.5, $8. And then it's been going up pretty good. But here's the thing. I just want to highlight the red line as a potential trailing stop. Here it would have been stop out, and then you're right back in, stop out, right back in, right? But this is bullish engulfing, and we've taken out a previous day. Now, it would have been better if volume was even bigger today than the previous day. But if I wanted to get bullish on Grayscale Bitcoin, the stop would be today's intraday low. We get below there, I'd want to be out because the next support would go to the 50-day. As of right now, this is bullish engulfing. A move higher tomorrow would confirm that pattern. And then Tilray, I talked about this one, TLRY, if I can spell. The Tilray was having a nice little pullback on top of the 50-day in orange. Today was a pullback of almost 4%. But you know what? Despite the 4% pullback, does absolutely nothing to this chart. The 50-day and the 20-day are coming together right around 45 bucks. We get below both of those, that would be my trailing stop. And last but not least is Tesla. We haven't talked about this one in a while. It's just below the 50-day pretty much the whole time, but Monday we got above it. Today a little bit of a pullback. If I wanted to trade Tesla bullish, which I do not, the volume is not that good even on this bounce. Anything back below the 50 and the 20-day, because they're right there together, that would stop me out of any bullish trade ideas at that point. So that's it. Again, make sure you grab your seat for this Friday, noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Register ASAP to make sure you get a seat at the table. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'll unveil the next 10 hot stocks for July, but we're also going to do August and September too. See you there. Have a great day.